Yeah, I'll play you some songs in here too.
Yeah.
Can we, does this work?
Just stick it right in there. You didn't bring CD? Who has CDs? It's called CD player.
That's hilarious. I just completely laughed at you because you said, yeah, you put it right in there. Like, what is that? A CD player?
CD player. You ever heard of those?
I literally had a guffaw. Like,
you haven't heard of those?
That is funny. You said, yeah, you can put it right in there. Like, I have a copy, a CD copy. I'm walking around with CDs. Want to be loved. My gosh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Anthony Skinner is one of my absolute favorites. Singer-songwriter, worship leader. He's written and produced songs for the Newsboys, Kim Walker-Smith, Jesus Culture, Bethel Music. The fact is, if you've gone to church any time in the last 10 years, you've sang one of the songs. Recently, he was in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I took him out for coffee. So, man,
with my man Jason Clark.
Let's do it. Wanna go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right.
Get a little bit of that.
We're
Charlotte coffee.
That's it, man. You're in town. I was thinking about this drive we were gonna have, and I was thinking about even last night. Some of the songs you ended up picking last night were songs about everything's gonna be all right. You've got a lot of everything will be all right.
Yeah,
everything's gonna be okay.
Those, yeah. Oh, our hearts need to hear that.
Yeah.
And it's something that we need to hear often, that he does love us and that, you know, he has it covered.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do. I have a couple of songs that it's really just an invitation to enter into the rest of God.
Right.
Into the peace of God and come into agreement with the fact that he's bigger than us and that he is watching over us. So
that's good, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Nothing can separate, even if I try to run away, 'cause your love never fails.
How do you hear from God? How do you recognize His presence?
Well, I mean, for a long time I've been practicing this concept and teaching it as well.
Okay.
But I have these two questions that I start with.
Yeah.
God, how much do you love me?
That's good.
And what were you thinking about when you made me?
That's good.
And I just found that, like, God wants to answer those questions.
Tell the Justice story. Or
Sure, yeah. So Justice, he had heard a few people talking about, you know, God told me this or God told me that, and and it really concerned Justice because he didn't, my son, because he didn't feel like he had heard the voice of God or could hear or was going to hear. I let him wrestle with it for a little while, and then one day we sat down and I explained this whole concept of, you know, we can really ask God questions, and he wants to answer those questions. But as I was, you know, kind of walking him through these steps, he just was so anxious and uptight, he couldn't even hear what I was trying to walk him through. So I just threw all that out the window. I said, you know what? I said, let's not worry about that. I said, why don't you just tell me some things you know about yourself?
Yeah, I love that, man.
Why don't you tell me things that you know? Like, God made you.
Make it simple.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he said, well, God made me kind.
Yeah.
I said,
I love that.
That's right. I know.
Yeah.
I know, such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
He said, God made me special.
Yeah.
I said, that's right. Type that in.
Yeah.
And he said, Dad, put down here, like at the bottom of the page. He said, nothing really. And I said, what do you mean by that?
Right.
And he said, I just kind of heard in my mind, oh, you're nothing really. And I know that couldn't be God.
Wow.
I said, that's really good. I said, yeah, half the battle is knowing, you know, who God isn't, and when you're hearing something that isn't God or isn't good.
Yeah.
And so we started making this predominantly list of things he knew about himself that were true, and then there were a few lies that he was sort of hearing.
I love
All of a sudden, he grabs my arm, and the second thing he got was special. He said, Dad, he was right here where it says special, put varies. He all of a sudden realized,
he heard.
No, God
heard God.
God says I'm very special. He looked at me, and he just fell apart in tears.
That's so good, man.
It was so sweet, and you know, it's something that he got for himself.
That's it.
And I didn't give it to him. I can't take it away.
Yeah, that's it.
And he has it forever. And it was a game changer.
But I love the story you have with Justice, because as a dad, it's, I mean, my number one priority is that my kids encounter His love. My kids ask, "How do you hear God?" So, well, he's always saying one thing. He's always saying, "I love you," and he's always asking one question: "Do you believe me?"
Well, I think at the sort of the core of the human heart, there's a desire to be loved, and to know you're not alone. And
that's a lot of the stuff you write in your songs.
It is,
and that's a lot of what's in your music.
The deal is you can be, you know, how many times you can be anxious or worried about something, or afraid or fearful or downcast, and when you get the revelation that you're not alone, and that you're loved.
That's it, man. Well, I said this to you earlier, listening to some of your songs and realizing that's one of the primary focuses. It seems like almost in everything you write, whether it's a congregational worship style of song or even a singer-songwriter, that there's the goodness of God,
the nearness of God.
You can have access to Him. He's close. Who are some of your heroes?
Ask me.
All right, ready? You got a really good answer. You got something? You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Who are some of your heroes, man?
You mean
some besides the musical?
Right.
Well, you know, give me whatever comes to your mind.
Well, I was gonna say, like, besides like the usual, like Superman, Batman.
Right. It's okay. Wait, now that you've said that, are you a Marvel guy or a DC guy?
I think I'm sort of all of the above.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm a,
you know, man, because there's some like passionate people.
I know. Well, you know, I'm an artist. So I used to be an art major, so I started this concept for a comic book years ago.
Serious?
Yeah. I drew the characters. My wife still wears a T-shirt that has some of the characters on it. Yeah. There was a point in my life where I was prioritizing.
What was the name of the superhero?
Oh, I can't give all that stuff out. I'll tell you why I can't.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because so I'm prioritizing things I feel like I'm supposed to be pursuing in sort of an A 1 through 4, B 1 through 4, C 1 through 4. As I'm doing all that, I realized, you know what, this comic book is like a C1 or C2.
I like that.
And it just like alleviated me from the pressure of constantly circling around, like the brain space it was taking up.
Right.
And I literally said, you know what, I think maybe that might be something I do with my son someday.
That's cool. Is he into comics?
So last week,
literally
the day before I left, Thursday, my son comes to me, and he has this whole concept with all these characters.
Really?
And it blew me out of the water. And there were a couple of ours that were so similar. I mean, like, it's unbelievable.
Awesome,
I mean, they're original. So anyway, I was so thrilled, and I just engaged Justice with, like, you know what, and you know, here's some of the characters I had, and we started combining them.
Right.
So anyway,
did it move from C1 to?
I don't know where it is now. I have to reevaluate that.
It's
but
too soon.
I think it took a little bump.
It's up. It's in the B's.
Yeah,
so is that why you can't tell me the name of the?
Yeah, I can't tell you the names and the.
It may change.
Well, no, because
I can't want to reveal it.
It might be 3 or 4 years before it's out, but if I say something, it might end up being.
Be locked into it.
You might steal it.
I see. You can trust me.
I wasn't necessarily thinking you, but I was thinking.
Right. That's right. I got you.
Wide open, with our hands wide open, our love wide open, open for you, with our eyes.
Well, my spiritual father is definitely Bill Johnson. We actually ran into him, Mary Keith and I, on our honeymoon. We had an open-ended ticket and we were on our way to Banff, Canada. Ran into him in Washington. He was, familiar with me and some of my music, and we just connected, and we have been connected ever since.
That would have been what, 17 years ago?
Almost 17 years ago, and he is a huge influence on my life, and I'm so grateful for him.
You know, I consider him a spiritual father too. He just doesn't know it.
But you've gotten to hug your spiritual father.
I have. I consider myself Bill's deja vu.
Yeah.
So when he hugs me, he has this look like, this is familiar.
This has happened before.
This has happened before.
Wait.
We've actually moved.
I'm sure this has happened before.
We've actually
moved. Has this happened before?
It's something like that.
So let me tell you a funny story with Bill Johnson.
Okay.
I had a dream. I was at this point in my life, I had a dream, and I was playing at Bethel Church, and I had played there several times. And I think Bill asked me to do like a hymn, and I said, "Yeah, sure, no problem. Let me just grab I had this 3-ring binder that I had everything in."
Right, because you do everything old school.
Well, at that time, I don't. Now I actually have everything on my iPad now.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't carry that 3-ring binder anymore.
So why did you have me print 3,000?
Because I like a backup.
Yeah. Okay.
I like a backup.
All right.
But at the time, I had this huge 3-ring binder that had everything in it.
Okay.
So I said, "Yeah, let me get my 3-ring binder, and I can do that hymn." So I run off the stage at Bethel, and I get down, and there's like 1,000 3-ring binders that look just like mine, same color and everything.
Right.
And I woke up. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, it scared me to death. So literally like 2 weeks later, I end up in St. Louis, and I'm not even sure, I don't know, there was a conference going on with Randy Clark and Bill Johnson, and they said, "Oh, would you do a session?" And I said, "Sure," so I was going to do a session with Bill.
That's pretty good.
So I'm there, and I'm playing. And I had done it was like a ministry time.
Right.
And I'm playing, and Bill says, "Let's sing the hymn so-and-so." And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking through the words and the chords. I'm like, okay, I got it. So I start playing it, and I play the first verse. And I can't believe I'm even in this situation, because
so you don't.
I just had this dream like 3 weeks ago, and here I am with Bill, and he asked me to sing a hymn. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I sing the first verse, and I come back around, and I'm like looking for Bill. I'm like, oh man, please turn around, please turn around, please turn around. He doesn't turn around, so I say, let's sing the first verse. So we do the first verse again, and we come back around, and my only option if he doesn't turn around is, let's do that first verse one more time. And so I just catch his eye, and he turns around, I'm like, what are the words of that? And he like mouths them to me, and so I'm like, oh, that's it. So I go into the second verse. But anyway, so my joke is I was saved by this Bill.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved us all. I just want to sing amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved us all.
I'll tell you another, because your question earlier was heroes.
Yeah, spiritual.
And it wasn't spiritual father, it was
heroes. Yeah, okay.
Of which Bill is both.
Yeah.
Bill is a superhero in my life. He's a hero and a spiritual father.
Wow.
But I'll tell you another current hero of mine who I'm just so thrilled that he's doing what he's doing, and he is a friend as well, but is Sean Bowles. He is, I'm reading his book right now, and I just got it. I downloaded it like
one,
2 days ago.
What's the, I gotta say it now, what's the title?
Conversation, or, it is,
I know.
Something God. It's
got God in the title. It's about hearing God prophetically.
Like, it's like, it's, what is it called? It's like,
hearing God.
It's translating God.
Translating God. Yes.
So I'll tell you.
I've got it too.
Huh?
I'm 2 chapters in myself.
Yeah. Okay, cool. He talks about the prophetic, that it is to be always in the context of relationship.
Yeah. The message is the love of God.
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of what we've talked about really fits in is there's this, he's actually easier to hear than we think. You know, he loves us. And when you're hearing Sean teach, there's no shame, there's no condemnation. You know, there's just the goodness of God and permission to discover him. So yeah, man, that's cool. Well, yeah, he's a hero I haven't met, so I get that. That's awesome. She's looking for us.
Here he is.
God,
he's running them out. Are we on?
This is on.
Woo!
This isn't on, but
we're here, man. Let's get the coffee going.